for this textured stripe stitch, you're going to need 2 different yarns. I've doubled my yarns up just to make a more exaggerated texture, so you can see that I'm using 2 strands of each yarn. That's just personal choice, but you can obviously use whatever yarns you like. I really love this stitch and the texture it creates. It almost looks like plaits, and I think it's really unusual, and it's quite interesting the way it's worked too. So I'll show you how to work it. To set up, I've used the beige colour to cast on an even number of stitches using the long tail cast on, and then I've worked 1 setup row in the beige colour, which is just a purl row, so you purl every stitch. And the first row of the pattern is a right side row. So I'm going to start now with the right side row. It's a 2 row repeat, so each block of colour is 2 rows, which is great because you always end up at the point you started ready to change yarns. So for row 1, you're going to slip the first stitch purlwise. This is just an edge stitch, just to keep a nice slipped edge down the sides. So I've slipped it purlwise with the yarn in the back, and then we're going to start working with the blue colour. So first, what you need to do is insert your right needle into the space after the first 2 stitches on the left needle. So you can see I've got 1 and 2, and then there's a space here, and I'm going to insert my needle into this space like that. So you're not going through an actual stitch, you're just going through the space after the second stitch like that. And then you're going to take your yarn and wrap as if to knit a normal stitch and pull it through. So you've got this loop here, and you're just going to create a bit of a longer loop like this, so it kind of stretches a little bit, because now we're going to knit these 2 stitches together through the back loop. So we're going to go into the back of the first stitch and then into the back of the second stitch like so. Wrap the yarn and knit them together like that, and you can just pull that off the needle now. So you can see you've got 2 blue loops here, and that is the sequence you do the whole row. So now we're going to take the right needle and insert it into the space after the first 2 stitches. Again, wrap the yarn around the needle as if to knit and pull it through, creating a longer loop, and then knit the first 2 stitches together through the back loop, pulling that off the needle and creating this. I'm just going to tighten that edge stitch, it's going a bit crazy. So now you can see you've got 2 stitches worked like that, well, 4 stitches together, and I'm just going to keep working like this, inserting, wrapping, pulling and knitting the 2 stitches together. And the last 2, you're just going to work exactly how you have been. And then I'm just going to knit the last stitch, like so. So row 2, which is a wrong side row, I'm going to slip the first stitch purlwise, just because that's my edge stitch. And then I'm going to take the yarn to the back of the work and knit the very first stitch. Now I'm going to take the right needle and insert it between the first 2 stitches on the left needle. So that's 1 and 2. And again, we're not going to go into the stitch, we're going to go into the space here. So I'm just inserting the needle through the space, not the stitch, and then I'm going to wrap as if to knit and pull it through exactly how we did before. And then now we're going to knit the first 2 stitches through the back loop. So you've got 1 and 2, and I'm going to go through both of them just like we did before, knit them together, and then bring that off the left needle like so. And that's the sequence for row 2. So you're inserting the right needle after the first stitch, knitting it, and then knitting these 2 stitches together. So insert, wrap, and then the 2 stitches, first 2 stitches on the left needle together through the back loop. I'm just going to repeat that for the rest of the row. And then when you've worked your last decrease, you'll have 2 stitches left of your row. You're going to knit this stitch, and then the last one is my edge stitch, which I'm just going to purl to create a neat slip. So now I've worked the 2 rows with the blue yarn, I'm just going to repeat those 2 rows with the beige yarn. So you just repeat the same 2 rows, switching the yarn. So I'm going to go beige and slip the first stitch, and then just start row 1 again. Then turn the work, and you can now work row 2.